This is ERi-TV. Dear viewers, welcome to English news broadcast for this hour with me, Bersaba Taghla. Following are the major headlines for today. President Isaias Ali returned back home from Egypt. New dam inaugurated in Shariki, ERi subzone. European allies pledged to plug Ukraine weapons shortages. And Peru declares health emergency as dengue fever outbreak imminent. On your domestic reports, President Isaias Ali returned back home, concluding three-day official visit to the Republic of Egypt. President Isaias and President El-Sisi held a meeting focused on strengthening bilateral relations and regional and international issues of mutual interest. During his official visit, President Isaias Ali and his delegation visited Egyptian National Museum and other historical and religious sites in Cairo, which includes collection of pharaonic antiquities, mummies, and ancient artifacts that illustrate the lifestyle of ancient Egypt. The presidential delegation also visited the Scientific Research and Livestock Development Training Center, which is dedicated to advanced livestock development initiatives, including the crossbreeding of dairy cows and the processing of milk and its products, situated 100 kilometers from Cairo. President Isaias Ali left for Republic of Egypt in the early morning hours on 24 February for a three-day official visit on invitation of President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi. The presidential delegation included Mr. Usman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs. The community of Shariki in the ERi subzone celebrated the inauguration of a new dam on 24 February, marking a significant milestone in local agricultural and environmental development efforts. The project was a collaborative endeavor between the Ministry of Agriculture and the 34th Division of the Eritrean Defense Forces. The inauguration ceremony was graced by the presence of notable figures, including Ambassador Abdullah Musa, Governor of the Ansaba region, Brigadier General Taghla Libsu, Commander of the Popular Forces Command, and various heads of the People's Front for Democracy and Justice in the region, along with other invited guests. In his address, Ambassador Musa lauded the pivotal role and contribution of the defense forces in enhancing the community's living standards and in environmental conservation through the greening campaign. He highlighted that over the past 3 years, the collaborative efforts of the public and the defense forces have led to the construction of several dams, with plans to construct an additional 10 in the near future. Ambassador Musa also urged the community to intensify their participation in these developmental endeavors. Mr. Gabriel Meskel Tawalde, acting administrator of the ERi subzone, underscored the unwavering commitment of the Eritrean Defense Forces to national sovereignty and their diligent contribution to the success of various development programs. He emphasized the crucial role of the dams in the subzone in bolstering irrigation farming in the subzone, thereby contributing to agricultural development and food security. Lieutenant Colonel Gabrab Tsahaye, commander of the 34th Division, reflected on the dedication of the defense forces to the execution of development programs. He noted the significant contributions made by the defense forces in the construction of dams, not only in Shariki, but also in Melebso, Enra Kubet, Aibaba, and Haberot Salim, with several others nearing completion. The inauguration of new dam in Shariki represents a vital step forward in the region's agricultural and environmental sustainability, showcasing the successful collaboration between the defense forces and the public and the developmental initiatives. On your last local report, the Ministry of Education's branch in Galanefhi subzone recently hosted a workshop focused on improving the teaching and learning process. The event took place in Adugwada on 23 February, drawing educators and stakeholders together to discuss advancements in educational methodologies. Mr. Daniel Solomon, the head of the Education Office in the subzone, outlined the workshop's primary goal: to evaluate the current educational landscape by identifying strengths and challenges, preserving existing achievements, and addressing any identified issues. This initiative underscores the commitment to continuous improvement in the educational sector of the subzone. The workshop featured several presentations, providing a platform for in-depth discussions among the participants. These discussions were aimed at fostering a collaborative environment where educators could share insights and strategies for enhancing the teaching and learning experience. Participants also had the opportunity to propose ideas that could be incorporated into future educational programs, ensuring that the initiative remains dynamic and responsive to the needs of students and educators alike. Mr. Belay Habtagaber, head of the Education Office in the Central Region, emphasized the importance of community involvement in the educational process. He encouraged parents, teachers, and the broader school community to actively engage in fostering a student-centered approach to education. This approach prioritizes the needs and potentials of students, ensuring that the educational environment is conducive to their growth and development. The workshop in Galanafis subzone represents a proactive step toward enhancing educational practices with a focus on collaborative efforts to ensure that the teaching and learning are both effective and enriching for all involved. Dear viewers, we'll be back with your international reports and more. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Ukraine's European allies have agreed to block weapon shortages by supplying medium and long-range missiles and bombs and do not rule out providing ground forces, French President Emmanuel Macron said. Speaking after a Ukraine conference in Paris on Monday, attended by leaders and ministers from 20 nations, including Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, and a virtual address from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Macron restated the bloc's commitment. The U.S. Senate passed the package on February 13, but it faces an uphill struggle from Republican representatives in the House, where Speaker Mike Johnson is refusing to bring it to the floor. On today's final report, Peru declared a health emergency across most of the country on Monday, February 26, as a heat wave and heavy rains have led to a spike in dengue fever cases. According to the health minister, the South American nation's death toll due to the virus has risen to 32 so far this year. Total cases also climbed to 31,300 in the first 8 weeks of the year, up from 24,981 in the first 7 weeks. The Peruvian government's cabinet approved the motion to declare a health emergency on Monday, hours after the health minister said a dengue outbreak was imminent. Most of the cases seen so far in Peru have been in the country's north, where hospitals are already overwhelmed. Dear viewers, you're still watching us on ERi-TV, and now a very quick recap of the major headlines. President Isaias Ali returned back home from Egypt. New dam inaugurated in Shariki, Eritrea subzone. European allies pledge to block Ukraine weapons shortages. And Peru declares health emergency as dengue fever outbreak imminent. That was it for today, dear viewers. Thanks for watching and have a good one.